Too many kids being found in these lakes, man. MTGV.
This channel may feature copyrighted video and audio content under the guidelines of fair use permitted by copyright statute for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All content and credit go to the original creators. No copyright infringement is intended. This channel may feature copyrighted video.
Just so you know we don't go for those that's taking.
Shout out to everybody in the building. How y'all doing on this good Saturday? Please smack that thumbs up as you come in.
MTGV. True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe. Miss V. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe.
Please do.
And make sure you leave a comment too. Yeah. We're gonna see you on the flip side, man.
Okay, so today we're gonna be comparing old Carlos' statements. It's a lot with what he had to say. So I wanted to break down the two statements that literally came straight from him. And I also want to point out that everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Everything is alleged. Although I am reading statements, everything is alleged. Okay. Shout out to Dr. Doc. He came through. Just Us Justice. Thank you for hitting that like button. Shout out to Miss Rhonda. Happy Saturday. How you doing, fam? Shout out to my BFF in the building, dropping them good fire and horns. Shout out to Andrea or Audrey. Hope I ain't jacking up your name. Shout out to Mr. Billy's daughter. How you doing? Yes, please smack that thumbs up. Shout out to Scorpio. Welcome in, y'all. So this is what I'm gonna be going over right here. I'm gonna be pretty much comparing his two statements. So I'm gonna read them both. I'm gonna read them one by one. I think that would be better. It's a lot to try to keep up with all these lies. Okay, but these are the three pages we'll be going over. Statements 1 and 2. And I ain't gonna waste too much time either. Let me see. We do have two different live streams going, so if you don't see somebody, that's why. Shout out to my sleuth in the building, Lady Bird, Lady Redbird. How you doing, fam? And shout out to Tabany. I'm well loved. Smash the like button. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so the first one I am going to be going over is number 1. Number 1. Let me move the comment. And I'm not looking at the comments when I'm reading, y'all. Reading something else. I can keep that down there. Y'all share this out too. If you think somebody, I know you know somebody that wants to hear this. So everybody in here, if you go to the share button right now of this video, you will hit share, hit create post. That puts it on your page on YouTube. So you go to the share button, you hit create post, and then you hit at MTGV, and my channel should pop up, and that's how you do mentions, and that's how I will be able to see. Before I end, I'm gonna make sure that I shout everybody out that did share me out, and let me see if anybody shared already while I'm thinking about it, because we want everybody to hear this. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Doc. He shared me out 5 hours ago. He said for everybody to set your notifications and don't miss this. So shout out to Dr. Doc. I appreciate you, fam. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the document because I can see it, but not as good if I'm looking at it from my device. So I'm gonna do that. And I also, let me see. One thing, I mean, it's a lot in here that I noticed, right? But some things stick out more than others. And let me see, did I put it in here? I don't think I put the. No, that's not what I wanted to put in. But some things stick out more than others, and I'm gonna just read what I have here since I didn't put it in. Soon as I get to the right spot, y'all. Okay, I finally got to it. As a matter of fact, I probably I'll just do this for now. Okay. So this is one of the statements, and this is the first one. So I would look at this as like a little summary, I guess, of a statement, but it's still different. Like they're a lot different. And one of the things that I will point out right now that sticks out to me in this one is that he stated that he, as he was moving the car of Romeca Blackman. Let me just read it. Okay. Oh, let me turn this down. Hold on. So I'm thinking that most people here seen parts 1 through 3. If you haven't, make sure you check that out. I have a playlist with just those, and is witness statements, I think is what I have that playlist as. And if I don't have it dropped, I will drop it by the end of the video so y'all can check out everything. Shout out to Terry Dow. Shout out to my member in the building. And shout out to Tim. Welcome in, fam. How you doing? And shout out to Terry for dropping the fair use disclaimer. Okay, so the interview of Carlies, that's what we're reading right now. So on September 8th of 2024 at hours, and I noticed that they didn't tell us what time they talked to him. Carlies stated that earlier today he was leaving the house and walking to his car with his baby mama, Quadasia Johnson, with whom he has a 6-month-old baby. His other baby mama, Romeca Blackman, with whom he has a 6-year-old child, pulls up in a car and runs up on Quadasia Johnson. Carlies stated that Quadasia Johnson has a restraining order on Romeca Blackman because of previous threats of her well-being. Carlies stated that Romeca Blackman double parked her car and blocked in their vehicle. Now, that's confusing because we know that it was more than one vehicle out there. It was 2. But the way that reads is if they in the same vehicle, like it's just one. So he just like merging him and Quadasia together. Like they got a car, they are both in the same car. So double parked her car and blocked in their vehicle. Carlies stated that both women began arguing as he is putting the baby in the car. Carlies stated that he then proceeds to move the vehicle of Romeca Blackman. He then proceeds to move the vehicle of Romeca Blackman that was blocking their vehicle so that they could not leave, as if they in one vehicle again, and that one vehicle is blocked and neither one of them can leave. Blank stated that as he is As he is moving the car, Romeca Blackman runs up on Quadeja Johnson. Quadeja Johnson has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca Blackman to get back. Carlies stated that he then heard 2 fires go off and saw Romeca hit in the face. Carlies stated that Quadeja Johnson put the weapon down after firing, and that concluded that part of the interview. So I think it will make more sense if I just go ahead and read both of them and then point out the differences. So keep that in mind. I think that I'm going to keep this one up when I read part 2. So y'all can see the differences. But I'll put it up. These are documents that I put up the first day. So this is part 2 of it. While I read it, I'll have it up, okay? So this is also the interview of Carlos, and as you can see, is more extensive. So Carlies related. Let me look at something, because one thing, the one is September 8th, but I think this one was October 2nd, if I remember correctly. But let me go to that right quick, y'all. Smack the thumbs up while I look for it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel too. Set all notifications so you know every time I go live. If we have anybody watching on a vertical stream, if you tap my picture on that stream, it'll bring you to my channel, and then you can come and tap into the channel and make sure you subscribe, because I know the short shelf, a lot of people come through there. Oh, okay. I was about to say, what? I don't even have this open, y'all, so give me a second. I'm going to the originals. Okay, what is that? Okay. So the first one was on the 8th that I read that he spoke with them, but the one that I'm reading right now is October 2nd. So it says October 2nd, 2025 at 10:20 hours a.m. RDs along with ASA Jetla relocated to the Layton Criminal Courthouse located on California, conducted an interview with blank. The following interview should be considered as a summary and not verbatim. So I wanted to check that because by this time, him and Quadeja have talked. You know what I'm saying? And he has time to think more because, yeah, they would have talked, because we talking about October 2nd, which is the same month that she got pregnant, if she was 7 weeks pregnant in December. Okay. So, yeah, they had time to corroborate their stories, I guess. Let's see. Shout out to Spilling the Grits. Welcome in, Stefan, or Stephine. I don't know. How do you say it? Is it Stefan? or Steven. I don't know. Romeca car was behind his car. Exactly. And that's some stuff that really stands out. So, okay. So Carlies related that he knows Quadeja Johnson. He's known her for approximately 3 years and have been in a relationship with her since their son was born. Carlies related that he had known Romeca for approximately 9 years and they share a 7-year-old child together. So he would have been 7 by then because he had his birthday. Okay, 7-year-old son. Blank and previously dated on and off. So they previously dated, him and Romeca allegedly previously dated on and off for a while. Carlies related that he lives at, okay, Carlies related that he was split custody of his son with Romeca Blackman 50-50. No court order. Yeah. Hold on. They would just catch each other. They would just contact each other and make it work. Carlies related that Romeca Blackman was responsible for dropping off their son at school. Carlies related that the relationship he had with Romeca Blackman was mainly about their son. All right. Carlies related that on the morning of September 8th, 2025, himself, Quadeja Johnson, and their son were leaving his apartment. He was driving them back to Quadeja Johnson's car that was parked on Cermak off State Street. Carlies related that he double parked by Quadeja Johnson's car and was putting their son in the car seat of Quadeja Johnson's car when Romeca Blackman drove up in her car very aggressively, yelling at him and Quadeja Johnson, saying, "I knew I was going to catch y'all asses." As if they had a conversation that day or something. Maybe they did. Carlies stated that Romeca Blackman parked her car behind his car in the right lane, blocking in Quadeja. Now, I just want to point out that we just read that he parked on the side of Quadeja's car, which means, because when I read this before, I'm like, how did she park on the side of her car if he was parked there? So he's saying that he parked on the side of Quadeja's car to get the baby out the car, and Romeca was behind him. So he was really the one blocking people, according to what I'm even reading here. Carlies stated that he double parked by Quadeja Johnson's car and was putting their son in the car seat of Quadeja Johnson's car when Romeca Blackman drove up in her car very aggressively, yelling at himself and Quadeja Johnson, saying, "I knew I was going to catch y'all asses." Carlies stated that Romeca Blackman parked her car behind his car in the right lane, blocking in Quadeja Johnson's car. Carlies stated that Romeca Blackman began to yell at Quadeja Johnson, saying, "I want my ones with you," referring that she wanted to fight with Quadeja. Carlies stated that at the time, Quadeja Johnson is standing outside of her car by the driver's side door, and Romeca is standing outside of her car. So when I read that, to me, it's not, to me, it's saying that Romeca was on the driver's side of her car, because that's how she would have got out the car, and Quadeja was on the driver's side of hers, which would put a car in between them. That's how I'm understanding that. So Carlies stated that at the time, Quadeja Johnson is standing outside of her car by the driver's side door, and Romeca Blackman is standing outside of her car. Carlies stated that at this time he goes and steps between both of them to separate them. Why? They wasn't together at that time. Like, she was on her driver's side. Yeah. So anyway, stated that at that time he goes and step in between both of them to separate them, even though he just said they wasn't together, and keep them from fighting each other. Carlies stated that he begins to guide Romeca Blackman back to her car as they are still yelling and arguing and yelling at each other. Carlies stated that Romeca Blackman is standing on the door jamb of her car, so he put her back at the driver's side of her car after he guided her back. But the Spanish lady said that she was standing on the door jamb and he was slamming the door on her back, but he don't mention none of that. Or he didn't mention how he guided her either. Like, what did you do to guide her back to the car? Carlies stated that he then guided Romeca Blackman back to her car as they are both still yelling, arguing and yelling at each other. Carlies stated that Romeca is standing on the door jamb of her car yelling at Quadeja. Carlies stated that he asked Romeca Johnson, which is a horrible typo. Did he ask Romeca or Quadeja? But it says he asked Romeca Johnson if she is going to be cool and let him move his car. Now it's his car that he's moving. Okay, so that Quadeja could pull, Quadeja Johnson could pull her car out and leave. Now, he just said that he was on the side of Quadeja's car, and so if he on the side of the car, then that would mean his car wasn't ahead like we seen his car. So she really could have pulled off. She could have, yeah, anyway. But let me finish this. So stated that he asked Romeca Johnson if she is going to be cool and let him move his car so that Quadeja Johnson could pull her car out and leave. Romeca stated, yes, go move your car. That's insane. Romeca Blackman stated, it's typos in here, yes, go move your car. Carlies stated that he tried to move the car a couple of times. And that is the second, a couple of times. Hold on. Carlies stated that he tried to move the car a couple of times, and that the second time he saw through the rear view mirror Romeca Blackman move from her car towards Johnson. Carlies stated that he then gets out of his car to stop the fight. And that is when Romeca Blackman swings on Quadeja Johnson and hits her in the face. And Quadeja Johnson swings back, and he hears the shots all at the same time. It's crazy. Carlies stated that he did not know that Quadeja Johnson had a weapon on her that day. And he did not know where she kept it on her because she is a concealed carry holder, and she even hid it from him. He didn't see nothing. Carlies stated that he could not recall if Quadeja Johnson said anything about having a weapon because Romeca Blackman was loud. He had turned his head, and that is when he heard about 3 or 4 go off. Carlies stated that he never heard Quadeja Johnson. He never saw Quadeja Johnson with her arms extended firing, but he did see Quadeja with the weapon in her hand after. Carlies stated that at the time of the firing, he was about 2 steps away, trying to separate them. And that's when he heard the shots go off. Romeca was still holding on to Quadasia's hair. Hold on, let me switch this. Yeah, he was still holding on to Quadasia. She was still holding on to Quadasia's hair. Carlies stated that after the firing, he lays Romeca Blackman on the ground. He begins to treat her wounds and starts pumping her chest. And that he then called 911. Carlies stated that Quadasia Johnson stayed on the scene afterwards, and that is when a crowd of people and the police came. Carlies stated that he could not remember what he said or what Quadasia Johnson said after it all happened. Why he can't remember that? Well, the witnesses remember. Carlies stated that he did remember calling his sister to come pick up his son and then going to the police station to talk with detectives, which is the one that we read before this. Carlies stated that he was aware of the restraining order that Quadasia Johnson had against Romeca, and that was because Romeca kept threatening Quadasia and her family. October 2nd, 2025, at 11:45 a.m., Carlies identifies and signs still pictures from the scene, identifying himself, Johnson, and Romeca. Felony review does not present Carlies to the grand jury to testify, and that concluded his interview. Okay, so I'm gonna just ask y'all, like, what stands out to y'all? We gonna go through it, but it's a lot, So one thing on that part that I just read, one of the things that stand out is when he says Carlies stated that after the firing, he lays Romeca Blackman on the ground. So did he catch her and lay her down, or is that the point that he repositioned her? Because I'm unclear on if he caught her, because that I remember hearing that he was right there and she fell into his arms, and so he would have laid her down then. But no, other witnesses said that she hit the ground. So if he's now saying that he lays her down, then that would be because he moved her. That, in my opinion. How do you lay somebody down that's already down unless you're saying that you repositioned her? And it's some confusing stuff in these statements, of course. Typo, side, not sign. Man, it's worse ones than that. When you putting Romeca Blackman in a sentence, Romeca Johnson in a sentence more than one time together, as if that's her last name. Like, but that is what I'm reading, and that is what it say. But let me go back. So the first one that I have read was September 8th, 2025 at 9:30. This first interview was really quick. I mean, it was right after it had happened. Hold on, y'all. Right, and why would you pump her chest? Exactly. Like, Now, I know that I'm trying to think. Normally, if you have a pulse, they will take you. So I'm thinking that Romeca had a pulse, and that is why they took her and pronounced her at the hospital. But then I was trying to remember if a doctor has to be the one to pronounce somebody. But they would have said, if she was deceased on the scene, they would have said that. But I know if you got a pulse, even if it's light, even if it's faint, they still have to take you. Because if she would have been deceased without a pulse, they would have just left her there, and she would have been a part of the whole crime scene. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, and Tay says the Mexican girl is one who called 911 and told them he was attacking Romeca with his exactly. Yeah, he was hitting on her, and somebody else that I read theirs. He had his hands around her waist, and so when he said that he was guiding her, I thought about that, like guiding her. Yeah, he was guiding her, all right, grabbing her around her waist, and striking her at the same time. But he didn't mention. Just notice he didn't mention any of that. Hold on. Okay, so statement 1, it appears to be a short summary version of the witness interview, while statement 2 is a much more detailed account from the same witness. And so here are some key differences. So I'll just pull up the one that I'm talking about right now. Okay, so how the confrontation started. In statement 1, Carlies says that Romeca Blackman pulled up while him and Quadeja were leaving. And so that is confusing too. That's confusing how he worded that, right? Because it says right here, September 8th, 2024. Wait a minute. Wasn't it was it 2025? But it says September 8th, 2024 at whatever hour, stated that earlier today, as he was leaving the house and walking to his car with his baby mama, that would indicate that they was leaving out of his car, out of his home. And that is so freaking confusing. But at the same time, it sounds like they're getting confused with their lie, because their initial lie was that Romeca came to the house. Quadeja said that Romeca came, she was waiting for them outside of his house. So I think Carlos messed up in his statements because he forgot that part. He must have forgot that part. He kind of mixed it right here, though. When he said this, stated that earlier today, as he was leaving the house, which means he was in the process of leaving the house, like literally, and walking to his car. That's the car that they drove, right? Allegedly, with his baby mama. So yeah, he got that all messed up right there. So statement 1 says Romeca pulled up while the witness and Quadeja were leaving. Then he says Romeca runs up on Quadeja. Says there was already a restraining order because of prior threats, and say both women began to argue. But then when we look at statement 2, he gives more context. The witness says he was driving Quadeja and their child. Romeca arrived aggressively yelling. Romeca allegedly said, I knew I was going to catch y'all ass. Romeca parked behind the vehicle blocking Cordasia. Okay? His vehicle was blocking Cordasia. If anybody was blocking her, it would have been him. If he said he parked on the side of her and Romeca parked behind him, which would put her front end at Quadasia's bumper, or you know what I'm saying, behind him. So he was the one stopping Romeca. Like I said, that he stopped her from going past when they busted you if they put up at the same time and all that. But we gonna just try to focus on what we looking at here because everything is a little bit different. So Romeca parked behind the vehicle blocking Quadasia's car. Romeca allegedly said, I want my one, meaning she wanted to fight. And the witness says he physically stepped between and tried to prevent the fight. So one of the things that I'm looking at is, so why try to control somebody that you have no control over? Meaning Romeca, right? If you and Quadasia, y'all cool. Y'all supposed to be in a relationship. Why wouldn't you focus on getting Quadasia back in her car or in her car if she wasn't in the car first, which I believe she was? But why was his focus on Romeca and not Quadasia? Because it would have been easier for him to control Quadasia, right? But he chose to battle with Romeca, which means that's how he wanted it. It was other options. It was other options. I mean, Quadasia could have just stayed in his truck. Because if they all was moving at the same time, if we are to believe that, I'm just saying, it's so many other things that he could have did besides that. Shout out to Freddie. Freddie said he's lying. If he was helping her by pushing her chest, in the medical team can tell, and the medical team can tell, and that's there was no fighting. He's lying. Yep. He's a big liar. That's all he do is lie. And then, hold on. So the difference is this: the two statements provides a detailed timeline and portrays Romeca as the aggressor from the outset. Statement one only summarized that she approached and an argument started. So what happened immediately before the firing? So in statement one, which we'll go back to that. Okay, so in statement one, what happened immediately before? So the witness moves Romeca's vehicle so they can leave, right? That's what he said. The witness moves Romeca's vehicle so they can leave. That's so off. Because he said he was moving his car, right? So it's just crazy. In statement one, he says that he's moving Romeca's vehicle so they can leave. While he's moving the vehicle, Romeca runs towards Quadasia. Quadasia has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca to get back. Witness hears 2 shots, right? But in statement 2, the witness tries repeatedly to move the vehicle. He sees Romeca leave her car and move towards Quadasia. He gets out to stop the fight. He says Romeca swings first and hit Quadasia in the face. Quadasia swings back and he hears shots at the same time. So this is probably the biggest difference of this whole thing, is that in statement one, he suggests that Quadeja already had the weapon visible before the shooting and was warning Romeca to get back. But in statement 2, he says, Carlies say, it says 2 says the witness, statement 2 says the witness saw a physical fight and then heard shots, but does not say that he saw Quadeja pointing or firing. And we seen that. Let me see, is this one? No, this ain't one I got up in front of me. Hold on. Yeah, it is. So let me go to that part. He says, Quadeja Johnson has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca to get back. Carlies stated that he then heard 2 go off and saw her hit in the face. He then said that Quadeja put the gun down afterwards. Let's go to the other one, which is right here. Let me move this. And let me try to go to that part. Hold on. Wait, what? How did I get all the way down here? First, I got to get to it and find it. That's crazy. I don't know how he can have such different things to say. Well, I mean, that's how lies work though, right? Like, you got to try to remember what you said before. The people you're talking to is recording you so they can go back and listen, you know? So one moment he talking about she had the weapon in her hand telling her to get back. Then he says that he didn't know that she had a weapon. I don't know where she had it at. Stated that Quadeja stayed on the scene. Okay, hold on. Quadeja said anything about having a weapon. Okay. Romeca Blackman swung on Quadeja Johnson and hit her in the face, and Quadeja Johnson swings back and he hears shots all at the same time. He stated that he did not know that Quadeja had a weapon on her that day, and he did not know where she kept it on her because she is a concealed holder. Carlies stated that he could not recall if Quadeja said anything about having a weapon because Romeca was loud. He had turned his head. And that is when he heard 3 or 4. Like, Carlies stated that he never saw Quadeja Johnson with her arm extended firing, but he did see Quadeja with the weapon in her hand afterwards. Johnson has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca Blackman to get back. So this is what he said in 1 versus 2. So let me go back to it. Carlies stated that as he is moving the car, Romeca Blackman runs up on Quadeja Johnson. Runs up. Quadeja Johnson has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca Blackman to get back. Carlies stated that he could not recall if Quadeja said anything. Carlies stated that he did not know that Quadeja had a gun on her that day. Carlies stated that he could not recall if Quadeja said anything about having a gun because Romeca was loud. But here, that was 2 I was just reading, and here in 1, he said that she was yelling for her to get back. Quadeja Johnson has a gun in her hand and is telling Romeca Blackman to get back, right? That's in 1. But in 2, he don't recall if she said anything. So, I mean, it's so many lies. It's hard for me to keep up with lies. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more than that. But I mean, come on, dude. Like, so again, in statement 1 about what happened immediately before. In statement 1, the witness moves Romeca's vehicle so they can move. But then in 2, he said he moved his vehicle and asked her if she was gonna be cool while he do it, right? So he's lying about the placement of the vehicles. He's lying about where and when he moved either his or hers. I believe that the plan was to move her car because they were trying to lie and say she was at the house. I believe the plan was to move her car down to his apartment so it'll look like she was coming out of there, so it would match that story. But he's trying to make it match. That was the plan, but that ain't what happened. So he's trying to make it match the original plan. That's what I think. What y'all think? I think he's trying to make it match the original plan that they couldn't make happen. Because this right here, and I mean, just the inconsistencies of his stories, he really should be locked up and be charged with the same crime. Romeca didn't have any hair in her fingernails. Exactly. How did she get fired on while still grabbing her hair? Exactly. That's what he was trying to say. Like, right, he's trying to make it where they was actively fighting when she fired. That's what he's trying to make sense. And that's why he said, oh, she hit her, and then I seen Quadeja swing back, and that's when he heard yeah, man, this dude is horrible. I mean, he is worse than her. He's just as bad as her, I should say. So in statement 1, witness moves Romeca's vehicle so they can leave. While he's moving the vehicle, Romeca runs towards Quadeja. Why would he choose to move a vehicle and not remove Quadeja? Quadeja, you could get in my car. Okay, she got you blocked. Get in my car. Pull around the corner, I'll jump in your car. Why he ain't do that? Why? He could have very well did that. Neither one of them wanted to leave that day. They wanted to do what they did. That's why it happened. He's trying to make Romeca the aggressor. If Romeca was the aggressor, then you should have been protecting the person that wasn't aggressive, because that person would have been easier to control. Am I right or wrong? Anyway, Quadeja, okay, so statement 1, witness moves Romeca's vehicle so they can leave. While he is moving the vehicle, Romeca runs towards Quadeja. All lies. Quadeja has a weapon in her hand and tells Romeca to get back. Witness 2 hears 2 fires. Then in statement 2, witness tries repeatedly to move the vehicle. He sees Romeca leave her car and move towards Quadeja. He gets out to stop the fight, but he says Romeca swings first and hits Quadeja in the face. Quadeja swings back with a weapon, basically, and then she swings back and he hears the fires at the same time. So statement 1 suggests Quadeja already had the gun visible before the firing and was warning Romeca to get back, whereas statement 2 says the witness was a physical witness, says the witness saw a physical fight begin and then the fires went off. So make it make sense. So Quadeja was pointing or firing the weapon. Let me read that again. Statement 2 says the witness saw a physical fight begin and then heard shots, but does not say he saw Quadeja pointing or firing a weapon. The number of fires that went off is inconsistent. In statement 1, he heard 2 shots. In statement 2, he heard 3 or 4. This is directly inconsistent, like directly. So let me see. Carlos was holding Romeca when a pow hit in the face, and Chicago, Illinois city bus showed that Romeca did not go to Holly Johnson. And I believe every bit of it. He's trying to make her the bad guy, but he could have made other choices. Like I said, shout out to Miss Tina and shout out to Aurora. They some turtles, okay? Just slow as molasses and definitely delusional, Sherry. That's a fact. Maybe they are waiting to see if his fingerprints are on the steering wheel. Man, but then he'd be able to say, I always drive her car. I mean, I don't know, man. I know they are waiting on some DNA still, though, right? And I heard didn't much happen in court, too. Shared you out, sis. Always on point. Thank you so much, Miss Tina. Appreciate you, fam. Exactly right, Sherry says. Just making up stuff. He telling 2 different stories. Exactly, BFF. 2 totally different stories. So what I'm gathering is, because the first one, this one we looking at, was him and Quadeja didn't have time to get together and talk. We know that they both went down to talk to the police that day. After they talked to the police is when they tried to get their story straight, and it ain't lining up because you already said this. So Romeca and Holly wasn't fighting. Romeca and Carlos push each other and going back and forth. Exactly. The issue was between Romeca and Carlos. Lion Los and Holly Ho, in my opinion, they knew they set up meets. Facts. That's what it's looking like, man. How you swing back and fire at the same time. Thank you. Because don't it take 2 hands to get in position and fire a weapon? So what? She just out there willy-nilly swinging with one hand and firing with the other one? You know, make it make sense. So this is the thing. When they do a reenactment, I want them to make it make sense. Based off of where the bullets with the shell casings was found, based off of what they've been told, based off of the splatter on the vehicles and all this, are they gonna be able to make sense? Or did Los already have that figured out when he said that he moved her? Or what did he say? He laid her down. Nah, if she hit the ground like witnesses said she did, what did you do again? Because she was already laying there, and the smart thing to do would have been to leave her just like she was, other than rolling her on her side to stop her from choking, right? But he didn't do that because the police did that when he got there. So why did you touch her? Period. He was dripping, and yeah, he was dripping. He was dripping. So it's something shady there. If you see the sky view, her car was parked. His car was on the next lane. Romeca's car was on the next lane from where Carlies was. He stopped short and she hit her brakes according to witnesses. Facts. And I believe that witness. He said she turned and stopped right away. Why? Because old boy stopped in front of her. I've been saying that. Facts. He's trying to distance himself from the pew. Facts. Oh, I didn't know if she had it and all that, but you said that you seen it. She had it in her hand telling her to get back. Anyway, okay, so the number of fires is inconsistent. Whether the witness saw it himself, if he actually see it happen or not. So in statements one, the witness states he heard the shots and saw Romeca hit in the face, right? But in statement two, the witness specifically says he did not see Quadeja with her arm extended firing, right? He only saw Quadeja holding it afterwards. His head was turned during the struggle. So he didn't see nothing Quadeja did bad, right? But he see every damn thing Romeca did, right? He didn't have nothing to say about her when that's the one that you had control over, right? We listened to a video when this man said that he ain't talked to her all year. So what would make you think, number one, that you can get in, touch her? First of all, two, get in her damn car to move her car. And three, control anything about her. Y'all ain't, I mean, that's not your woman. Control your woman. Control you. His ass need to be locked up. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. The statements that he gave is clear and cut bullshit. Clear cut bullshit. These are the two stories that I believe that his family was told, possibly, because they said that he gave them two different stories, and now we sitting up here reading two different stories. So I don't detect no lies from the family. Why everybody is jumping all over the family? He's clearly, dude is lying. Period. The setup is crazy. Absolutely. Boy, did he lie. Okay, welcome in, Zoe. Zoro in the building. First time seeing you. Sorry, typing fast. No, you good. I didn't see it yet. Holly Johnson car on the sidewalk. And you know, another thing with Holly, the fact that she's claiming self-defense and got that self-defense insurance type thing, they can only claim self-defense. Like anything other than that, is she not gonna have a lawyer? Who paying for it? If she can't use self-defense, I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, I really don't. But Ari is not, I don't see Ari doing this for free or pro bono or none of that, because this is a losing case. He held Romeca on purpose. So Quadeja could just so Quadeja do just what Quadeja did. Yep, exactly. Facts. They jumped her. He restrained her. He was the person preventing her. And then look at this though, y'all. He said that he moved his car on the side of Quadeja's car. We read that. We also read that Romeca stopped behind him. So there is no other reason that he moved their car other than to think that he was about to move it down the street. And I think them witnesses is why he stopped in his damn tracks. Them witnesses is why he stopped in the tracks. We read one of the statements that said one of the witnesses seen on a citizen's app that there was a firing outside. So people were getting notified like an Amber Alert. Okay? The citizen app, yeah, it notified people. So people that wasn't on the bus or wasn't in the car driving by already, now you got people spilling out of these diners and businesses. It was 2025. Yeah, they tried to say that at first. Thank you, because I'm like, wait a minute, 2024? What am I? It's so many typos, y'all, but this is what I got. Like, I'm showing y'all this part. He heard fires but didn't see, right? Okay. How did he grab her before falling? This sounds like the Matrix. Okay. This what I'm trying to figure out. Because what did he say? He was a couple steps away. He didn't catch her, man. She hit the damn ground like them other witnesses. Thank you, Sherry and Tim, for telling me. Yeah, because I'm like, what? 2024? We know it was December of 2024 when Quadeja was trying to get the TPO. But Romeca fall in the street. They moved their body out the street. Yep, he moved her. Why he talking about how did he laid her down? No, she was already damn laying down. You moved her. Why didn't he say moved? Why? He's clearly lying. Anyway, then the difference is the statement 2 is more limited and cautious about what the witness actually observed. Why? Because in statement 2, he's had time to talk to Quadeja and try to put their stories together. What did you tell him? Okay, I said this. Anyway, position of the parties when shots were fired. Trust me, his statements is why her ass is behind bars. Like, anyway, the position of the parties when it happened, right? When the fire shots happened. So, statement 1 suggests that Romeca ran towards Quadeja after being told to get back, right? But statement 2 states that Romeca was actively engaged in a physical altercation, a physical struggle. Says that Romeca was still holding Quadeja's hair when the fires were heard. So the statements 2 places the women in close physical contact during the shooting, which could be significant in assessing self-defense claims. So this is what he's trying to cook up. Like, this dude is the biggest enemy of he was the biggest enemy of Romeca, and her family need to be careful. He's dangerous. This is a dangerous person, man. 6, the knowledge of the weapon, what he knew and not knew. So statement 1 says Quadeja had the weapon in her hand and was warning Romeca. Let me see if I could pull them all up. I don't know how well y'all can see it, but so statement 1, witness says Quadeja had the weapon in her hand and was warning Romeca. So statements 2, witness says he did not know Quadeja had a weapon that day. See, because the one witness said, witness 3 said that he said she gonna go get her gun, right? So he's trying to defend that. He did not know that she had one that day. He knew she had a concealed carry license. He never saw her actually fire the weapon. So statement 2 weakens certainty about exactly when the weapon appeared and how it was used. So overall, the core story remains the same in both statements. The core of it, though. The core is Romeca arrived. There was an argument, a confrontation. This is all alleged. A fight or attempt to fight occurred. Quadeja had a weapon, and Romeca was shot. That's the core of it, right? However, the 2 statements add details that are important legally, including Romeca allegedly initiated the physical contact, the witness trying to separate them, the woman being in a physical struggle when the shots were fired, the witness not actually seeing the weapon discharged, and a different number of fires that were heard, because he saying 2 different things. So those are the areas of a defense attorney, prosecutor, or investigators would likely focus on when comparing 2 versions. And he purposely made this stuff confusing to me. But it's all in Quadeja's favor. Everything that he's saying is meant to protect Quadeja, even though, it's hurting her at the same time. But his intentions, is what I'm saying, is to protect her at all costs. Shout out to Talina for becoming a new member. Shout out to you, fam. Welcome to Sleuth Nation.
You was just in the club saying hi to your baby mama?
I guess so, yeah.
I heard about the OnlyFans.
Exactly. Well, yeah, she used to do in that same video where he's hosting her. She's like, oh, she does threesomes.
Yep, she sure did. She sure did brought that up.
Hang up the phone right now, bitch. You want to sit on the phone and sneak this me? You want to sit on the phone and sneak this me? To a red ass bitch.
You go
that
go
did
right to
threesomes
jail.
with her friend. You want to sneak this me? Yes.
Only thing I would change is the time. Would have came out 2 minutes later, the light would have been green, and she wouldn't have seen us.
Yeah.
So when she turned.
Hold on, y'all. I'm letting stuff play, but I wasn't trying to play that. But oh, you know what? Too, when they mentioned a guy in a gray sweatshirt or something like that, I thought about this guy that was on the scene. But I'm gonna have to go back and listen at his description. But they had said something about a guy being on a body cam. I don't think it's him though. But I thought about him. Like, oh, wait, is they talking about him? I thought I wanted to see what he had on because I know Aurora feels like that guy was Dave. This guy here, often with where the guy is pointing, that guy standing right there. But you in this video, you will hear the older witnesses, and also we can see the position of the cars here too. So really, it seems like to me, because on one of the statements that I read, Carlies said that he put on the side of Quadesia. So to me, Carlos did move his car. Maybe. I mean, because we see the placement. It's hard to try to, make it make sense when we talking about a damn liar. But let me move this. Hold on. Make this bigger. We talking about a liar, right? But these are the positions of the car. Now, how is it possible that Carlies was on the side of Romeca? I mean, on the side of... let me go back to that statement while we looking at the placements of the car. Okay, so... hold on. Carlies Sway stated that Quadesia Johnson has a restraining order on Romeca because the previous threats. Okay. Carlies stated that Romeca double parked her car and blocked in their vehicles. Hold on. Hold on. Was it in 2 that he said it then? Because in 1 he said stated that earlier that day as he was leaving the house and walking to his car with his baby mama. Yeah, they was trying to do it at the house with whom he has a 6. Okay. Hold on. It must be in the other one then. Okay, so on September 8th, 2025, him, Quadeja Johnson, and their son leave an apartment. He was driving them back to Quadeja Johnson's car. Okay, Carlies stated that he double parked by Quadeja Johnson's car. He double parked by Quadeja Johnson's car. But we see how far up his car is. I think he put the damn car up. And I mean, since he out there moving cars, did he pull his car up and Romeca car? Because in one statement he said he pulled her car. He got jumped in her car to move it, which is insane. But could Carlies had actually moved both cars? Because we did read that he did. I'm not making this shit up, right? He did say that. Because why did he say that he was double parked next to Quadeja's car when he's not? He's not on this picture. And we know that this was the placements of the car. And like I pointed out in the picture, I said, like, she could have got out. Just looking at the positions of the car, because the police cars wasn't there. You see the white little dots, right? She could have drove right that way and got out without nobody moving. Right? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Like, what? Shout out to Spilling the Grits if I did not speak. I'm all the way up here. Amir going to be 8 years old in September. Time is flying, and I did go to his page and see the visit and all that stuff he got on there, the Jordans that he gave him, and all of this stuff that, you know, he doing a lot. But I'm not gonna make this one long. I'm just going through right now to see what y'all are saying. But yeah, so what do y'all think? Now, since we got time, let's go ahead and add Quadeja's in here, because hers is very short. And I don't have it in here or anything. I don't think. It might be on rotation in this though. I might still have it from the last time. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. Thank you for so much. Join Sleuth Nation membership and become a sleuth for special members emojis, special badges by your name, and sneak peek videos. Join Sleuth. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to let this video play too.
Only thing I would change is the time. When it came out 2 minutes.
Okay, I just wanted to point out that is his cousin Wu, right? And he literally in the beginning, he had people coming out, Wu, talking, pretending to be him, which just, I mean, it's just crazy how these people think. Like, they didn't know about nothing about social media and how it worked until now. And so now they know. Everybody is on to all of y'all BS. But anyway, see, notice how he said the only thing he would have changed is the time, right? So that means that they put up at the same damn time. Like, he would have not, if he could change anything, it would be that. So that's why I believe the older people. Hold on.
Only thing I would change is the time. When it came out 2 minutes later, the light would have been green, and she wouldn't have seen us.
Yeah. So when she turned, she saw him and she stopped right away.
We have to remember that they both put up around the same time at 8:57. So I'm really picturing Romeca at this light right here, and Carlos going through the light on the other side. And by the time she makes the U-turn, he stops, and that causes her to stop.
When it came out 2 minutes later, the light would have been green.
Now, I know there's been an argument about the time that they arrived, whether they arrived at the same time or not. And we know that they did. Now, we know the guy that's talking is not Carlos. That is the fake Carlos. He was pretending to be him. But what he's saying is coming from Carlos. So that's how I'm looking at it. Carlos told him the story, and he's telling it the way Carlos told him. So the clip of me talking, I said that before. That is an old clip. We heard what the older guy said, where Romeca suddenly stopped, where you heard her tires. That's pretty much what he said, right? So what would make a person suddenly stop? A person stopping in front of you, and you're almost about to hit them. So that proves that they put up at the same time. And what the cousin says proves that they put up at the same time. And it also proves that Carlos is the reason why Romeca stopped. That's what I believe. And if you look at the car placements right now, you see that Quadeja was not blocked in. The police vehicles obviously was not there when the crime occurred. But if you look at the dotted line, the only thing standing in the way of Holly moving would be Carlos. You know, he was on the other side of Romeca's car and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, I also pictured Holly at the hood of Romeca's car, possibly hitting on her car. Because remember, she was antagonizing her to get out the car once she was already in the vehicle. And also, the placement of Carlos is on the driver's side of his vehicle. So, yeah, nobody was blocking Holly in except for Carlos. And then the older guy said something else too.
Yeah. So when she turned, she saw him and she stopped right away. She stopped her car. Like, you motherfucker, they got the arguing and stuff like this. They going back and forth before and I'm looking at them like, damn. And I didn't even see the girl, so I got to walking down. I walked in because I'm like, why is she arguing with that nigga like that? Why don't they just go on like? So when I see the other girl now, I'm like, oh. That's why because I'm like, I didn't understand why they were going at it so hard.
So did you hear him? He did not see Holly at first. And I also said Romeca probably didn't see Holly either. I truly believe that. Holly could have been in the cut. And Romeca was shocked when she popped out like, it's me, hello, it's me, hello. Let me know what y'all. Yeah, so we heard what those witnesses had to say, and that was something that I have been going by because, you know, that it makes sense to me. These people was there, I wasn't there. Like, and Lowe's is lying, telling all of these different stories, so you gotta help make it make sense. But one thing we ain't doing is pulling stuff out the sky over here. It's wild. Okay, I still ain't find I kind of got sidetracked, but hold on. I thought hers was first, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was him, then her. And here's one part. It says Detective Carroll then learned that Romeca Blackman exited the Kia and began shouting profanities at both Quadeja and Carlies. Romeca then approached and began to batter Quadeja. Detective Carroll then learned that Carlies attempted to separate Quadeja Johnson and Romeca, but was unsuccessful. Carroll then learned that Quadeja produced a handgun, and fired 3, striking her. Okay. Learned that multiple witnesses contacted 911 and paramedics dispatch. I was just trying to see. Okay, so by this time, it's a lot of things being said. Now we are at Quadeja's. Now this one is Quadeja's was at on September 8th at 11:07. Carlies was in there before Quadeja. I mean, if we go by this time, because they said 9 something for him. But anyway, September 8th, 2025 at 11:07 a.m., RDs along with Detective Farrell spoke with Quadeja Johnson at Area 3 Detective Division located on Belmont in Chicago. Hold on. Oh, wait, what? Oh, let me move that.
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy.
Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up. Please subscribe and press. These people are some kind of special, man, thinking that everybody is stupid except for them when they are the main ones. Make no sense. Okay, so let's get into Quadeja, which is very short. But I just, why we got this up here, why not talk about hers too? So, again, this was September 8th at 11:07 a.m. Am I at the end? Hold on. Don't mean not nice. I mean not too harsh. Okay. Not sure. Okay, so September 8th, 2025 at 11:07 a.m., along with Detective Farrell, spoke with Quadeja Johnson at Area 3. Okay, so RD advised Quadeja of her Miranda rights at 11:09 with Detective Farrell present. Quadeja Johnson agreed to speak with RDs and stated the following. Quadeja stated that Carlies was the father of her child and that they had been together for about 2 years. Quadeja Johnson stated that her and Carlies' son was 6 months old and was in the back seat of her car when Romeca Blackman put up on them. So that's what she said to her mother. Romeca put up on me and I shot her. Quadeja Johnson stated that she has a restraining order against Romeca Blackman and that they have been trying to serve her since December of last year, which was December of 2024. Quadeja Johnson stated that she got the order of protection against Romeca because of continuous and numerous threats of Romeca that Romeca made against her and her family and her friends and her grandmother. Quadeja Johnson stated that Romeca Blackman had been harassing her since she was pregnant, starting in October of 2024. And we talked about that. Quadeja Johnson stated that Carlies and Romeca Blackman have a 6-year-old child together. Quadeja Johnson stated that she felt the threat from Romeca Blackman were credible and that she feared for her life and that the blood on her clothes was from Romeca. Quadeja Johnson stated, how did she get it on her? Stated that Romeca Blackman was waiting for them outside of Carlies' house today. Okay. Hell, ain't her lawyer talking the most about them coming out the alley and all that? Ain't that where that came from? Like they was, I remember hearing something about. I'm assuming that they was seen coming out of the alley, and she was allegedly in the car. But how can man listen? Like make sense though that she said this, and this is why I really truly believe that Carlies was trying to get in Romeca's car to move her car, but then he realized he couldn't do that. Too many people see it. What do you expect at 9 o'clock in the morning on a school day? Like, but anyway, because that's the only reason why I think he would be lying about that, because that's what they was going with originally. So again, Quadeja Johnson stated that Romeca was waiting for them outside of Carlies' house today. Quadeja Johnson stated that Carlies lived right there where the incident happened. Quadeja Johnson stated that she wanted to talk to RDs about the incident, but first wanted to speak with her lawyer. This concluded the interview of Quadeja Johnson. But she told a big fat lie. I mean, really, that's all she said in her interview. Romeca was waiting for them at his house. So yeah, that would make sense that Carlies is tripping up his own lies when he said in one statement that he was trying to move his car. Then he says in another statement that he was moving Romeca's car. I think he should be charged with theft, grand theft auto. What is you stealing her car for? Where's the proof? Exactly. There is none. And that is why her ass is locked up and will not be getting out. She will not be getting out. I don't see it happening. She deserves to stay exactly where she is. And that concludes today, y'all. I'm not going to hold y'all for 3 hours today. I just wanted to come in and do that comparison, and I'll be probably going over something else too real soon here. I don't know, but stay posted. I will be setting up the next live stream. Just make sure y'all set all notifications on that. Y'all kind of quiet up in here today. But shout out to the 87 people in the chat, and I hope we got at least 87 thumbs up while we live. We should have more than that, though. But y'all, please smack that thumbs up on the way out. And if you're on a vertical stream, tap my picture and come in to my actual channel and make sure you subscribe and all of that good stuff. Let me look here. So on one live stream, I only see 37 thumbs up. What? Is there a warrant out for Carlos? No, but you would think it should be, right? Shout out to KB. I have heard of no warrants, no such thing. Shout out to Mike. And Tabany said, yes, he knew Holly Johnson had a pal because he takes her to the range. And then also, that's right. They was shout out to Tay. I'm chosen. They was talking about he was supposed to be going to the gym that day too. Both of them touch Romeca. Yep, that's what it's looking like. Shout out to Professor Teaches in the building. The prosecution will impeach all of his inconsistencies. Man, they don't even want to use the dude. Now, Carlos was holding Romeca when the Pow Pow hint Romeca faced the Chicago, Illinois bus show that Romeca didn't go to house. I don't think he was holding her. I don't know, though. I really don't know. I don't think Holly is that good of a... Like, she ain't no dang on sniper. Like, I don't believe that she... I think he was a couple steps away, like he said, out the damn way, trying not to get hit, knowing what was about to jump off. That's what I think. Shout out to the most hated bronze for sharing me out. I don't see how... An hour ago. Shout out to Absolutely Jay for sharing me out an hour ago. Shout out to Terry Dow for sharing me out an hour ago. And shout out to Dr. Doc for sharing me out 7 hours ago. So thank y'all so much. For the people that didn't share me out, you know, it's free. And I was just saying you could hit the share button, hit create post, and then at MTGV. If you subscribe to me, my channel should pop up and I'll see it. But if you don't do that, then I can't see it. But I do want to thank quite a few people have shared me out. So let me go to it because I had looked at that this morning. If I can find it, but yeah, shout out to the 120 people that shared me out. Shout out to y'all. And also, if you are on TikTok, make sure you connect with me over there as well. I've been on TikTok the same time that I joined YouTube, which was in 2020. So check me out over there too. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great Saturday, and I'll see y'all in the next video, live stream, or short. Peace and love, y'all. We out. BFF 89C. It's public. The public and in the courtroom video. That's right. If you turn it on. Shout out to Aurora in the chat. Thank y'all all for coming through. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace and love, y'all. We out.